Welcome back to the Poetry Library. I'm Daniel Seery, your host, and this is another gift from my friend Brianna for Christmas time. You can never have enough poetry books, and this is a great one from Barnes & Noble, Pocketbook of Poetry. You just carry it with you anytime you feel like reading. Sonnet 18 by William Shakespeare. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot in the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. Even every fair from fair sometimes decline, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of thy fair thou owest. Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Whew, I just trip over my words. I don't think anybody from Staten Island was ever really meant to speak either. I don't think anybody from Staten Island was ever really meant to read Shakespeare, but I'm doing it anyway, because whatever, it's my channel. This is another sonnet. Looks like 29. I'm not good with Roman numerals. You remember when they taught us Roman numerals in school? And I'm like, why are they doing this? Why do we need to know Roman numerals? And I believe The Simpsons had a great joke when Mrs. Krabappel is teaching the kids Roman numerals, and she says, you need to learn this so you can know the dates when certain motion pictures were copyrighted. So this is Sonnet 29. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state, and trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate, wishing me like to one more rich in hope, featured like him with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with what I most enjoy contented least. Yet in these thoughts myself almost despising, haply I think on thee, and then my state, like to the lark at break of the day arising, from sullen earth sings hymns at heaven's gate, for thy sweet love remembered such wealth brings, that then I scorn to change my state with kings. Okay, that was two from William Shakespeare. Patrick Stewart has been doing a great reading of the sonnets that he did earlier this year during the pandemic, and I listened to every one of them, and it was brilliant to listen to him. I am not Patrick Stewart, but I actually owe him a great debt because he was the guy that got me interested in Shakespeare in the first place. Star Trek got me interested in a lot of reading and a lot of music that I would probably have not come to till much later. I remember they would mention it. Spock talked about the undiscovered country in Hamlet, and it made me go and read Hamlet because they said the undiscovered country, and then Hamlet. He said Hamlet, Act 1, Scene 4. And that made me interested in reading that. And of course, on the show, there was a lot of stuff about Sherlock Holmes and a lot of stuff about literature. And the reason why Star Trek was so great back in the day is the problem with Star Trek now is it seems this is Star Trek from people that watched movies a lot. And I love movies. But what made old Star Trek great, I'm talking about the original series, I'm talking about The Next Generation and DS9. What made that so great was that the people behind it were very literate. They had read a lot of books. Not just your New York Times bestsellers, not just the popular fiction, but they read everything. They read the classics. They read Milton. I remember as a kid watching Space Seed, and Khan is being sent to this planet, and he says, it's either that or, we're going to bring you to a tribunal and have you, put down. But instead, they gave them this planet, this deserted planet out in the galaxy. And Khan says to Kirk, have you ever read Milton? And they talked about the quote from Paradise Lost, when Satan is thrown into hell and he says it's better to rule in hell than serve in heaven. And I was watching that as like, a 7-year-old kid. And I'm like, who's Milton? Who is this guy? I got to find out. I got to read Paradise Lost. Which I have, but unfortunately I never read it. Another book that I started, like so many that I start and I don't finish. But maybe over the holiday break, I'll read Paradise Lost. So, once again, wishing you all a very Merry Christmas and happy holiday season, and please have a happy new year. Be safe. Everyone wear a mask. Don't go out shopping unless it's for the essentials, because we'd rather have you here for next Christmas. Thank you very much. God bless you, and have a great holiday.